It had started with the dreams. Harrat, as the clock struck midnight, Ion found himself walking down a dimly lit street. The houses were old, the street empty except for a single figure standing motionless outside a quaint, weathered house. The figure was always the same, tall, with pale skin that almost glowed under the faint streetlights, eyes dark and unreadable. In the dreams, Ion felt an odd pull toward the stranger, a mix of fear and fascination that lingered long after he woke. For weeks, the dreams continued, but nothing changed in his waking world. Until the day the moving trucks came. Ion noticed the new neighbors immediately. The house next door, once empty for years, suddenly alive with the noise of boxes and footsteps. And there he was, the stranger from his dreams. Standing by the front door, eyes cold and empty, smiling faintly as he met Ion's gaze for the first time. Ion's heart pounded, a cold shiver running down his spine. Was it possible? Could his dreams have foretold this? He tried to ignore it, chalking it up to coincidence, but the uneasy feeling gnawed at him. Days passed and the stranger never seemed to leave his yard. He would stand there for hours, silent and still, watching the street as if waiting for something. The neighbors whispered about him, but no one knew much. He never answered their greetings. Ion's dreams intensified. Now, the stranger's presence was closer, sometimes inside Ion's own house. The air would grow cold, shadows lengthening unnaturally. He'd wake to find objects moved, doors open that he had locked. One night, Ion dreamt of the stranger's eyes, black pools that swallowed the light. The stranger whispered, "You'll see soon." The next morning, strange things began happening. Ion's friends would suddenly avoid his calls. His phone showed missed calls from numbers he didn't recognize, all silent when he answered. Worse, the reflection in his bathroom mirror sometimes showed the stranger standing behind him, but when he turned, no one was there. One evening, Ion's curiosity pushed him to confront the stranger. He walked over as the sun set, shadows creeping along the street. "Why are you here?" Ion asked, voice shaking. The stranger smiled, a slow, unnatural curl of lips. "I've always been here," he said softly. "Waiting." "Waiting for what?" Ion pressed. "To be remembered," the stranger whispered. His voice was like a cold wind brushing against Ion's skin. Suddenly, the streetlights flickered and went out. Darkness swallowed the street. When light returned, the stranger was gone. But Ion felt it then, the presence inside him. He ran home, heart racing, locking every door and window. That night, Ion was plagued by nightmares worse than before. He saw the stranger in every shadow, heard his whispers echoing through the walls. In his dreams, the stranger showed him memories that weren't his, lives lived by others, tragedies and pain. Ion realized with horror that the stranger wasn't human. He was a collector, a being who fed on memories and souls, trapped between worlds, waiting for a way back. The stranger had moved in next door not by chance, but by design, and Ion was next. Days turned into sleepless nights. Ion's reflection vanished completely from mirrors. His friends no longer spoke to him, their faces blurred in his mind. The stranger's voice was constant in his head, "Remember me." One evening, Ion found an old, dusty journal on his doorstep. The pages were filled with names and dates. All previous occupants of his neighborhood vanished without a trace. At the bottom of the last page, in shaky handwriting, was a warning. "He returns, and those who forget will be next." The final night came. Ion stood outside his house, eyes fixed on the empty lot next door. The stranger emerged from the shadows, taller, darker, no longer pale, but made of pure shadow. "You cannot run," he said, voice echoing like 1,000 whispers. Ion tried to scream, but no sound came. The stranger reached out, touching Ion's forehead. In an instant, Ion's memories shattered, replaced by cold, empty darkness. When neighbors looked outside the next morning, Ion's house was empty. And on the front porch, a new moving truck arrived. The stranger was back, waiting for the next dreamer.